Popular sitcom star John Ritter passed away last night at the age of 54.
John Ritter's death certificate says he died as a result of an aortic dissection. Now, that's a tear in the main artery in the body called the aorta.
John Ritter's death stunned the world. But what surfaced afterward changed how many people understood his final days. New details, quiet decisions, and little-known moments revealed a side of the story few ever heard. Behind the laughter and fame were unanswered questions, unexpected turns, and private struggles that only came into focus later. Some clues were overlooked. Others came years too late. What really happened, and why did it take so long for the full picture to emerge? The answers don't sit where most people expect. The hidden circumstances of his death. John Ritter's sudden death on September 11, 2003, stunned fans, friends, and colleagues. While he is remembered for his iconic comedic roles, the full story of his final hours only became clearer over time. Ritter experienced severe chest pains and was rushed to the hospital, where doctors quickly recognized the seriousness of his condition. Despite emergency surgery and intensive efforts, he died on the operating table, leaving behind a grieving family and shocked fans. What made his passing especially troubling was the difficulty in identifying the true cause. Initially believed to be a heart attack, later reports revealed Ritter actually died from an aortic dissection, a rare and often misdiagnosed condition involving a tear in the main artery. Because the symptoms can closely resemble those of a heart attack, even experienced medical professionals can struggle to diagnose it in time. This discovery added painful complexity to an already devastating loss. At the time of his death, Ritter was actively working on his hit sitcom, 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. He appeared energetic, engaged, and in good spirits, with no public signs of serious health problems. Castmates and colleagues were caught completely off guard, remembering him as lively and committed right up until the end. The stark contrast between his vibrant on-screen presence and the sudden medical emergency deepened. The shock felt throughout the entertainment community. In the years that followed, insights from family members, doctors, and close friends helped clarify what happened that day. These revelations not only offered a clearer understanding of the tragedy, but also brought attention to a condition many people had never heard of, highlighting how fragile life can be, even when everything seems fine. Family associations have indicated that Ritter's death might not have happened had the disease been detected earlier, which in turn opened the door to discussions on aortic dissection being understood better. The accompanying advertisements and personal experiences show that, in some cases, the mere fact of being very observant does not guarantee that one will not be caught by such sudden, heart-related emergencies, which are extremely hard to detect. Consequently, the Ritter incident has turned out to be an influential warning sign in the medical circles as well as the general public. The mystery surrounding the incident grew when the people nearest to Ritter admitted that they didn't understand how serious his condition was until his death. This non-disclosure or misunderstanding regarding his health details not only created a sense of intrigue and grief, but also gave rise to more candid discussions about the health of actors, the stress of Hollywood careers, and the need to be alert to the signs of ill health. The narrative of John Ritter's death eventually turned out to be one of love lost, but also of hope. The hope that the information which is new can save some more people in the future. As soon as the details began to come out years later, the legacy of Ritter continued to grow, not merely as a comedian, but as a representative of the demand to identify complex medical conditions early. The fans of today remember the past with a hint of nostalgia, but also with the feeling of thankfulness that his demise has led to and has had a good influence on medical awareness. This incredible happening was the turning point that made the conversation about Ritter's life and the impact of his personality last longer, which was not only the tragedy, but also the revelation of a talented and compassionate man. His on-screen characters were only the surface of his story, and as we continue to look into his professional life, a more complete picture of him begins to materialize. From the uncertainty of his final moments to the rich career he built, the next chapter of his story takes us beyond the headlines to understand the breadth of his accomplishments. Career highlights beyond Three's Company. While John Ritter is best remembered for making the sitcom Three's Company a cultural phenomenon starting in 1977, his artistic reach went far beyond that one role. Before becoming a household name, Ritter honed his craft on Broadway, where he successfully took on several challenging stage roles. Theater gave him the chance to display his versatility as an actor, balancing comedy, drama, and musical work in a way that many TV actors seldom do. This background laid a solid foundation for the longevity and depth of his career. His transition to the big screen was marked by multiple appearances in films, showing that he could easily shift between media. Ritter's film work ranged from comedy to drama, with some projects gaining significant commercial success. Despite his television fame, he never allowed himself to be pigeonholed, continually seeking out new types of roles that would challenge him and broaden his appeal. This willingness to try different genres contributed to his reputation as one of the hardest-working actors in Hollywood. During the 1990s, Ritter's work attracted attention not only for his performances, but also for his professional attitude. Colleagues spoke highly of his generosity on set and his dedication to every project, regardless of its size. He was consistently described as kind and approachable, qualities that made him beloved not just by audiences, but within the industry as well. His ability to balance a demanding career with genuine warmth made him a rare figure in show business. Though Three's Company was unquestionably his breakout role, Ritter remained eager to explore new stages and screens throughout his life. His performances in dramas and comedies alike underscored a rare skill in timing and emotional range. This persistent evolution kept his work fresh and relevant, ensuring that fans of all ages could connect with him in one way or another. His career was a testament to steady growth, rather than fleeting fame. A few movie roles played by him were the most significant ones that revealed a different aspect of Ritter to the public, who might not recognize it right away. These roles enabled him to break the boundaries of comedy and exhibit his dramatic and delicate skills. The difference between his bubbly TV character and some of his film roles only made it more interesting to speculate on the professional myth surrounding his legacy and his rather unconventional choices that proved he was, first of all, committed to the art. Ritter's reputation as a consummate professional never faded behind the scenes. Cast and crew often mentioned how he was still so down-to-earth despite his increasing fame. He was constantly practicing his art, and he made sure that his support extended to the newcomers, thus creating an environment that was collaborative and respectful. As a result, he earned their respect for a lifetime and inspired many who were on the set with him. Ritter continued to be an active participant in the film and television industry, even in the twilight of his career, and he never let the past be of any help. He would take on new, challenging roles, which were not the usual expectations of a TV sitcom star. He was never the same old actor, and at the same time, he took advantage of the new roles to challenge his artistic self and surprise the viewers all at one go. This kind of approach made him better, and also kept the audience interested in his work. Judging from the present, it seems that Ritter's choice of next roles after Three's Company was a very smart one indeed, as it produced his full career scope to the surface. On either side of the curtain, he was always the same, so genuine and passionate. Therefore, he was very much able to live up to the audience's expectations. As his professional journey unfolded, Ritter faced some hurdles, both with studios and casting decisions, that highlight the complexities behind the scenes. One such example would soon illustrate how even a veteran actor like him had to defend his place in the spotlight. Behind the scenes of Problem Child. The 1990 comedy Problem Child unexpectedly became a box office hit, grossing $72 million on a budget of just $10 million, making it one of Universal Pictures' surprise successes. Although John Ritter was the film's most bankable star and perfectly suited to his role as Ben Healy, the adoptive father, casting him was not a straightforward decision. Behind the scenes, the studio initially pushed for a more famous actor, doubting Ritter's commercial draw despite his track record. This resistance set the stage for a quiet battle that revealed Ritter's strong industry relationships and determination. Dennis Dugan, the director of Problem Child, had known John Ritter since their early days in Hollywood, when both were struggling actors trying to make a name for themselves. From the moment Dugan was assigned to direct the film, he had Ritter in mind for the father role, confident in both his talent and audience appeal. His loyalty to Ritter was clear, and he fought hard against the studio's insistence on choosing someone with a bigger star label. Dugan's choice was an act of faith that would pay off in the movie's success. Ritter's initial reaction to the script was positive. After reviewing it, he quickly agreed to join the project. This enthusiasm showed his commitment to roles that challenged him while also providing commercial prospects. Despite the studio's doubts, Dugan went ahead with his casting choice, and surprisingly, the studio reversed its stance and allowed Ritter to proceed. This turn of events revealed how industry relationships and trust can outweigh marketing calculations in casting decisions. The decision to cast Ritter over a more famous actor helped define the film's tone. His comedic timing and relatable presence grounded the story's outlandish situations. Audiences responded well to his portrayal of the beleaguered but loving adoptive father, making him the emotional anchor amid the chaos. This chemistry was hard to replicate and demonstrated why Dugan was so insistent on having Ritter in the role. Problem Child also showcased Ritter's capacity to cross borders appealingly and amusingly at the same time, hence attracting family audiences. The film's commercial success not only boosted Ritter's status, but also showed that the studio was wrong to doubt him. He was awarded the credit for using humor and emotionality in the right proportion, which cemented the movie's position as a 90s family comedy classic. The disputed casting is just the tip of the iceberg. Ritter's stubbornness and the trust others had in him are revealed. In addition, it means that the studios may well miscalculate an actor's worthiness of being cast based on popularity rather than nuance and skill. Ritter's success in Problem Child is an indication of his compatibility and the power of loyalty among professionals. The shooting of the movie and the period immediately afterward affected Ritter's later projects and relationships. Such difficulties would not only enhance his reputation as an actor who was committed to the art of acting, but also to forging real relationships with directors and colleagues. These relationships provided the support that helped to maintain his prominence in the often cutthroat movie-making milieu. The struggle against studio interference is just a tiny episode in a life that was filled with both personal and professional lessons that, unfortunately, would not be revealed until much later. The richness of his experience offers a deeper understanding of John Ritter, not just as a face on the screen, but as a resilient and supportive figure behind it. From these pivotal moments in film and theater, Ritter's story folds naturally into the personal wisdom he shared, which influenced those closest to him. Life lessons passed to co-stars. John Ritter was not only admired for his talents on screen, but also for the profound impact he had on those who worked closely with him. During his recurring role on The Waltons, from 1972 to 1978, he forged meaningful bonds with many of his co-stars, including child actor Mary Elizabeth McDonough. Years later, McDonough would reveal how Ritter's kindness extended far beyond the set, sharing life-changing advice at a time when she faced personal challenges. At one point, McDonough struggled deeply with her self-image and the pressures that came with being a young actress expected to look and act a certain way. Sensing how much this weighed on her, Ritter pulled her aside and offered a suggestion born from his own experience. He encouraged her to start journaling as an outlet, a simple yet powerful tool he used to confront his own inner struggles. This gesture wasn't just about acting, it was about survival and self-acceptance. Journaling, as Ritter explained, provided a safe space to process emotions and gain clarity, something that helped him maintain balance amid Hollywood's often harsh realities. McDonough took this advice seriously, and it turned out to be a turning point in her life. Not only did it help her come to terms with body image issues, but it also set the stage for her future as a women's activist and life coach. Colleagues who knew Ritter often spoke of his genuine warmth and his willingness to mentor younger actors without hesitation. His encouragement wasn't limited to public acts. It was often quietly given during moments of vulnerability. This reputation made him a trusted figure on set, someone others could rely on not just for professionalism, but for support and guidance. His legacy includes the countless lives he affected simply by being attentive and compassionate. Ritter's ability to recognize when someone needed help and offer practical advice reflected his outlook on life, one grounded in empathy and understanding rather than fame. He never saw his celebrity status as a barrier, but rather as an opportunity to positively influence those around him. This humility distinguished him from many stars who might focus solely on their own success. For Ritter, connection and kindness were just as important as the craft. The relationships he formed were characterized by an honesty that made it easy for people to work with him and feel like they were part of a community. Numerous co-stars tell the story of the way his aura would take the edge off the time and draw the best in everybody. The atmosphere of trust and friendship was a big factor in developing performances that not only touched the hearts of the viewers, but also proved the relationship between the kindness shown off-camera and the magic produced on screen. Ritter's lessons were not limited to personal issues, but rather touched on the necessity of resilience and self-care in a tough industry. One of his activities that encouraged journaling was one of the many creative ways he led people to create their own tools to deal with the pressures of celebrity and expectations. These teachings are still relevant today, as they serve as a reminder that even small gestures of support can have a huge impact on people's lives. If we reflect on the past, it becomes very apparent that Ritter was not only a mentor, but also a friend, which turned out to be a significant part of his legacy. His counseling and goodwill were not only during the recording of the series. They were the only support for many who were dealing with personal or work-related problems. In this way, he left a proof of the power of true connection that could withstand the isolation of the Hollywood industry. These anecdotes about his life bring out another aspect of Ritter's personality, which is very human and very rich. Out of these very personal occurrences, a much more explicit representation is being formed, one that shows a man not only committed to his art, but also to encouraging others. Such care and commitment to those around him created memories that would echo into the next generation. connecting naturally to a tale involving his own family and a symbolic moment with an iconic award. The Broken Emmy Story. In 1984, John Ritter received the only Emmy Award of his career for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series, celebrating his unforgettable performance on Three's Company. This achievement marked a high point, a recognition of not just his comedic timing, but his undeniable charm and skill. Ritter proudly placed the trophy on his mantle, a symbol of years of hard work and success in the entertainment industry. What happened next, however, became a bittersweet family story. Shortly after the ceremony, Ritter's then 4-year-old son Jason took the Emmy down from its place, drawn to its shine and heft like any curious child. Though no one remembers exactly how the trophy was damaged, Jason eventually realized he had accidentally broken a small part of it, a tiny portion of one of the angel's wings. For years, he carried a sense of guilt over what he believed was a significant loss for his father. In reality, the damage was minimal, but the story resonated deeply within the family. It symbolized more than just a broken statuette. It reflected the innocence of childhood and the human imperfection behind moments of greatness. Jason's feelings of remorse illustrate how closely success and vulnerability can coexist, even in families touched by celebrity. The broken wing was a reminder that even the most shining achievements are fragile. Jason Ritter would later follow in his father's footsteps, pursuing a career in acting with his own dedication and talent. He earned 2 Emmy nominations, and continues to build a respected presence in the industry. The story of the broken Emmy added a layer of continuity between father and son, connecting generations through both accomplishment and humility. It serves as a metaphor for the journey of artistic pursuit, filled with highs and moments of imperfection. The family bond around this story also highlights the personal side of fame that often goes unseen by the public. While Ritter's fans admired his work on screen, this glimpse into his family life reveals the tender human moments that defined him off-camera. It provides a window into how success can be celebrated in everyday ways, mixed with the unpredictable reality of life with children. This narrative also underscores the importance John Ritter placed on the role of family throughout his life. Despite his busy career and celebrity status, he remained devoted to his loved ones. The Emmy Trophy was more than an award. It was a symbol of a legacy shared and lived in the home. The broken wing is now an emblem of a father's love and a son's growth. Jason's recounting of the story shows a maturity and willingness to embrace imperfection, lessons imparted by his father over the years. The experience of accidentally breaking such a prized possession did not diminish the family's pride or joy, but became a cherished memory filled with understanding. It reminded them all that mistakes don't overshadow love and accomplishment. This heartfelt episode enriches our appreciation of John Ritter beyond his public persona. It tells us about the values he held dear and the affectionate relationships that shaped his personal world. These are the stories that deepen our connection to someone whose life was cut short, but whose influence remains strong. Moments like these bring warmth to Ritter's lasting legacy, setting the stage to explore his enduring advice and reflections passed down to his own son, shaping a new generation of performers and individuals alike. Ritter's advice to his son, Jason. John Ritter was not only a devoted father, but also a mentor who eagerly passed down wisdom to his son Jason, especially as Jason embarked on his own acting career. From an early age, Ritter stressed the importance of staying grounded amidst the often dizzying highs and lows of Hollywood. His biggest piece of advice was clear. No matter how successful or challenged you might be, the celebrity status should never overshadow what truly matters in life. like family and close friendships. This perspective helped Jason navigate his profession with balance rather than being overwhelmed by fame or criticism. Jason has often reflected on how his father maintained a level-headed attitude despite his big-name status. Even as Ritter became a household name, he consciously avoided getting caught up in the noise that surrounds celebrity culture. He taught Jason to tune out the distractions and focus on the essentials, emphasizing real relationships and personal well-being over public approval. One more lesson relating to public opinion, good or bad, was imparted by John to his son. Jason remembers that his father had a comically cynical attitude towards criticism, suggesting that one should not put too much trust in either the positive or the negative. This equilibrium in thinking enabled Jason to steer clear of the overbearing influence of outside opinions, thus directing his attention to his art and personal development. John's support turned into a sort of shield against the uncertainties of the showbiz scenario. In addition to the career advice he never went beyond, John Ritter showed people how to be and remain approachable, nice, and often protected his family from fame's impositions, and developed normalcy in the house. Jason was the one who benefited the most from this protection, which in turn helped him to realize the importance of a loving and steady family life. This grounding influence was indeed the opposite of the chaotic surroundings that might sometimes engulf actors in Hollywood. Hence, Jason was able to build his self-confidence without losing his identity. John Ritter was not tearfully family-oriented, but viewed it as his already worthwhile dedication that sharing is the best joy of success. This very viewpoint was the basis of his advising Jason about the girlfriend issue, for he told Jason to really look for friends who were true and also to keep his ego low, even if he was the one in the limelight. The stress on the equilibrium between career ambition and personal fulfillment became the direction that Jason would carry through in his life. Jason's acting career has been realized with the help of his father in moments of tribute, e.g., his Emmy nominations and a consistent output of work. The lessons John gave him still echo, even though he is building his own separate career. They reveal how a parent's legacy can surpass performing on screen and through the development of character and even resilience in a tough industry. From this deep connection between father and son, the story shifts to a chapter that might have marked another return to the spotlight for John, if not for fate's unexpected intervention. The Stalled Project. She's Funny That Way. She's Funny That Way, a romantic comedy released in 2015, was originally envisioned with John Ritter in a leading role. Writer-director Peter Bogdanovich had previously worked with Ritter on the 1981 film They All Laughed and hoped to reunite with him for this new project. Their long-standing friendship and creative chemistry made Ritter a natural fit, and Bogdanovich believed the role would highlight his signature charm and comedic timing freshly. Despite this strong foundation, the project became mired in years of delays and rewrites. Scheduling conflicts and ongoing production challenges pushed the film into extended development, preventing it from moving forward. During this time, Ritter remained busy with other work, including guest appearances on 8 Simple Rules, and stayed close with Bogdanovich. Still, ongoing scheduling issues and emerging health concerns continued to stall progress on the film. In 2003, tragedy struck. While Bogdanovich was preparing to appear on Ritter's sitcom, Ritter suddenly experienced severe chest pains. He was rushed into emergency surgery, but despite the doctor's efforts, he died on the operating table. His sudden passing shocked Hollywood and deeply devastated Bogdanovich, who lost both a close friend and a creative partner. Overcome with grief, Bogdanovich chose to shelve She's Funny That Way, uncertain whether the project could exist without Ritter. The script remained untouched for years, becoming a painful reminder of unrealized potential and the unpredictable nature of life and creativity. What was once a hopeful reunion transformed into a symbol of loss. Nearly a decade later, a chance meeting between Bogdanovich and Owen Wilson reignited interest in the project. This led to a revised version of the film and its eventual production, now starring Wilson alongside Will Forte and Jennifer Aniston. While the finished film was warmly received, it carried the quiet weight of Ritter's absence, with his influence lingering behind the scenes. The journey of She's Funny That Way reflects how deeply Ritter's death impacted those around him, both personally and professionally. Though he never appeared in the film, his presence remains embedded in its history. The project stands as a tribute to a beloved actor whose influence endured long after his final performance, reminding audiences that while careers may be cut short, inspiration lives on. But Ritter's career still held surprises that many never expected. Ritter's unexpected horror role. Although John Ritter was best known for his comedic brilliance, he occasionally stepped outside that comfort zone to explore darker and more unexpected roles. One of the most surprising came in 1998, when he appeared in the cult slasher film Bride of Chucky, the fourth entry in the Child's Play franchise. Taking on the role of a proud, ruthless police chief, Ritter showed audiences a side of himself far removed from the warm, lovable characters that made him famous. In Bride of Chucky, Ritter's character meets a gruesome end at the hands of Chucky and Tiffany. His death scene, featuring nails driven into his face before he is stabbed, became one of the film's most infamous moments. The performance demonstrated Ritter's willingness to fully commit to intense, unsettling material, proving he was not limited to comedy and could hold his own in horror. Bride of Chucky marked the end of Ritter's career long before he died. Even his last days were marked by creativity. Though in the horror genre for a short time, he still made a great impact. And this is a testament to his creativity, talent, and the all-time drawing power of his acting. John Ritter's life and career were shaped by unexpected depth, quiet wisdom, and bold choices that often went unseen. From the circumstances surrounding his passing to the personal stories and roles that defined him, these details add new meaning to his legacy as both an artist and a human being. If this story gave you a deeper perspective, like the video and subscribe for more untold stories behind the stars, and continue the journey by watching the next video now appearing on your screen.